Top 5 Best presents the vital U.S. waterway that's quickly dying. Before we begin, do us a favor by clicking that like button and subscribe to our channel for more real-life stories every day. The Colorado River directly employs around 22,000 people and provides water for over 40 million people in 7 states, including Colorado, Utah, Arizona, Nevada, California, and the Mexican states of Baja California and Sonora. Along with a vital natural resource and economic cornerstone, the area around the Colorado River contains some of the U.S.'s most beautiful wildlife, and it's a destination for hikers, photographers, and rafters alike. In fact, stretches of the river are home to some of the most desirable whitewater rafting in the world. Thrill seekers wanting to take a trip through certain protected areas face a waitlist of over 10 years due to the massive demand. But for nearly 2 decades, the iconic body of water has been fighting a silent battle. Brad Udall, a senior water and climate research scientist from Colorado State University, started talking to people as early as 2003 about the need to pay close attention to water management habits, especially in areas fed by the Colorado River. Unfortunately, that was nearly 20 years ago, and his warnings often fell on deaf ears. By his own accounts, he would often receive dirty looks from those who considered him paranoid or accused him of wanting to incite fear. But now, the full scale of his warnings have been realized by the broader scientific community. Sadly, it may be too little too late. Way back in 1922, the river was divided into an upper and lower division in an effort to better allocate the vast water supply and in order to help protect the precious resource. Unfortunately, as a part of the process, officials used an average from uncommonly wet years to determine the average water level of the river. This means that the amount of water designated for consumption by the upper and lower divisions was far greater than what the river could spare, especially during drought seasons. While alterations were made to the allocation numbers in subsequent years, it wasn't enough. Furthermore, as temperatures continue to rise globally, the West has been hit especially hard, with Arizona being forced to ground commercial flights in light of extreme heat earlier this year. So, what does all this mean for the Colorado River Basin? It means that water levels have been dropping for nearly 2 decades, and we're approaching an all-time low. Speaking of the crisis, Udall said, quote, "We've never seen 19 years like this. It's unprecedented. The old ways of managing water in the West aren't working and won't work in the 21st century." A study co-authored by Udall in 2016 determined that climate change was responsible for nearly half the river's decline over the past century, and unfortunately it's not likely to get any better anytime soon. According to Ursula Rick, managing director of the University of Colorado Boulder's Western Water Assessment, the growth of the region is a big unknown, and it's projected to continue to get warmer. He also notes that simply using less water won't cut it anymore, as the growing number of residences could ultimately render the Colorado River unsustainable for coming generations. In an effort to do what they can to help, 7 western states announced the new drought strategy in the early days of April 2019. The new plan outlines decreased water consumptions over the next 7 years, or until a more concrete strategy can be adopted. Speaking about the new arrangement, Udall said, "This is a long-anticipated step that clearly needed to happen. The bad news is we still have a lot of work left. As the climate continues to change and warm in the southwest, all science shows that the river is expected to decline in the future." While the most recent agreement is at least a concede on behalf of the areas involved, one very important region is missing from the agreement. California's Imperial Valley is home to thousands of acres of farmland, with high temperatures and extremely low rainfall that averages around 3 inches a year. The bustling agricultural industry relies entirely on water supplied by the Colorado River via the All-American Canal. In fact, almost 70% of the water allotted to California goes to maintaining the valley's billion-dollar-a-year agricultural industry. But without Imperial Valley pledging a reduction in usage, the river is still very much in jeopardy. Some people consider the refusal of the plan to be a form of environmental warfare, as the district is leveraging their participation in order to demand $200 million worth of taxpayer money to fix an environmental sore known as the Salton Sea. The Salton Sea is a shallow, saline rift lake located directly on the San Andreas Fault, and it's known for its rather pungent smell. Authorities have long strived to clean up the area, but in their urgency to deal with it, they may be endangering the future for millions of Americans. Speaking of Imperial Valley's choice to hold out, Udall has said that the region will have to budge if the Colorado River is to be saved. Only time will tell if the once mighty waterway can be saved and just how it will be done. In total, there are some 26 lakes and at least 8 rivers around the world that are at risk of running dry. A number of factors contribute to the situation, including irrigation and overpopulation. However, experts are quick to warn that climate change plays an instrumental role in the process, and we cannot continue to ignore the well-being of planet Earth as forthcoming generations face an uncertain environmental future.